Okay, I just did a video about comic books, so I'm going to do one more video entailing comic books and my personal opinions on why I'm more this than that. And this isn't going to take that long because I am extremely tired from dealing with snow and pain in the ass people that is illegal for me to kill. Anyway, so as a comic book fan, I'll be the first to tell you, in all truthfully, in all honesty, when I first started reading comic books, I was all about DC. I was all about DC because Jonah Hex was the first comic book I ever read. I even adopted the name and went by it for years, and then I almost forgot that my real name was James until I actually went to kindergarten, which I think was the second day because I got a scar over this eye for learning how to fly, learning the black superheroes can fly. When I switched over and became a Marvel fan, I owe it all to the little radioactive bite of a spider. So I became a Spider-Man fan. Spider-Man crossed over into the X-Men because he thought the X-Men could cure his problem, which they taught him to endure his problem because he wasn't a mutant, but he wasn't not a mutant. He wasn't a God-given mutant like every X-Men has ever come through the doors of Xavier's School of the Gifted Youngsters. You know, now as hypocritical as that may sound, I did never leave Marvel until later years, like at my middle 30s. I kind of like, I told you guys about that before, so I'm not going to dwell on that. But I always have dabbled back and forth between Marvel and DC, and then graphic novels started coming out of the blue, and then Dark Horse comics came out of the blue, and then Harbinger was always there, Archie's were always there. But my two main comic books, because I didn't really consider the other guys like mainstream, was always the battles between Marvel and DC, and it even had crossovers with Marvel and DC, where some of the victories were questionable. All right, in second battle, I believe that they had, it was Superman versus the Hulk, and Superman bust the Hulk up pretty good. Wonder Woman and Storm had it. I believe Wonder Woman won. I won't swear to that. You'll have to research it. Thor beat Shazam. So they kind of, everybody was evenly matched. Captain America and Batman fought to a draw. Jubilee lost to Robin, Tim Drake Robin, not Jason Peter Ty, and not Dick Grayson. And they kind of fell in love with each other. And Quicksilver lost to Flash. Aquaman beat Namor, which I was like, that's some bullshit, but hey, you kind of got to even it out so that everybody can be happy we placate to them. Wolverine decimated Lobo. It was like the shortest fight in the entire comic. It's like a page, if that. It's like the main man said something, and then Wolverine said something, and then the claws came out, and the fish hook came out, and the gigantic hook, and then at the next page you have Wolverine standing over top of Lobo. So it didn't even really last a page and a half. It's like maybe 4 slits, however many slits are in the comic book, but you get the gist. And with Quicksilver losing to the Flash, and it just kept going from there. But a lot of people were kind of mad because Marvel didn't really get to use a lot of their heavy hitters, and DC used a lot of their heavy hitters, but they didn't use like a lot of heavy hitters. I forgot who went up against the Green Lantern. I don't really remember. I think Hawkeye and Green Arrow just had like an archery contest. I don't think they really fought each other, but they had the little markings. I guess everybody voted on it before they all went FUBAR and produced these two comics. And there's been 2 sections, but they never came back for like a 3rd generation list, which was cool. And if I can ever find them all, I'll get them. But it was pre-Disney, like before Disney owned Marvel or whatever. So when you get into comics, choose wisely and make sure that you find a genre that you like. I would never tell anybody to never read an X-Men comic because there will always be my favorite. I am the X-Men. X-Men live, period. I don't read the comics today because when they started going in a direction that I didn't think that they should go in, I just automatically stopped. They started killing off all my favorite heroes, and Marvel was famous for this. I can't really say DC is famous for this, but they probably are, but they're not as bad at it as Marvel. Marvel has a tendency to make you fall in love with a character, and after about 7 or 8 years, they execute them. I mean, they don't execute them badly. They execute them like horribly, and then you're like, but I really like that character, and you can't really deal with that. And when they did what they did with Madeline, the Goblin Queen, Infernal Saga, I was like, I started getting mad because Madeline been through so much shit because of Cyclops, and I, like, if I was her, I would have never forgave that bastard. And no one likes to be dumped. All right. Now, if you're both going in different directions and y'all sit down and talk about it like grown people, it's a different ball game if y'all both leave willingly. But when someone's in love with someone, it's hard to just turn up and be like, all right, fuck it, I'm gone. And then again, sometimes it's not. It just depends on the kind of person you are on the inside. In comic books, I hate to say this, comic books and Days of Our Lives taught me how to actually love a woman. And I admit, for a while it works out, but in reality, you can't always be Bo Brady. All right, as much as I would love to have a Hope Brady, you can't always be a Bo Brady. No, you can't. Yeah, I've tried it. It didn't work out, but it wasn't my doing. It wasn't even my choice. Being forced out of love kind of fucking sucks. Especially when your heart's not ready to let that person go. And when you're forced to let that person go, you're kind of like, fuck. And it burns me up every day. It still burns me up every day. Even 5 years after, it still burns me up. So, most love stories get happy endings. So when my graphic novel, when I can find an artist, when I can find a producer to get the things I want done, because I'm almost finished. I just have to finish the last bit of it. I've done the major fights. Everything is basically done. I just have to wrap it up. So since we're on comic books, and I hope my graphic novel becomes a success, and I hope I never have to work again if it does become a success. I hope it sells, and it's not for kids. It's definitely 1,000% not for kids. You have to be 18 to buy it, period. Because it touches on some serious, sensitive subject matter. And it has lasers and everything in it. And it's all fantasy, and it's autobiographical fantasy. The only person in it that's real is me and my second father. So, I'm dedicating it to a bunch of people who mean stuff to me. And not just family. And I honor my word when I say I'm going to dedicate something to somebody. I don't give a damn about the legal ramifications. It's going to get done. So, to close out, because I'm about to close out so I can read this Balder and take all these comic books back downstairs in the morning. Since my life is so miserable, my fantasy life, I strongly believe in happy endings because I've never ever had a happy ending. Not the massage type of happy endings, where I can live happily ever after. Because in the end, that's what I want. I can't say what everybody else wants, but I know what I want. I want at least one child. I want a wife that is loyal and not a liar and that loves me and loves herself enough to be loved. So in that, everything I like happy endings. If you're going to end a saga, end it on a good note. And that's kind of what stopped me from reading a lot of comics because you invest so much of yourself in some of these characters. It's just like Mass Effect. You create Shepard. You control Shepard. You run through all this stuff with Shepard, and you get these 4 dick-headed endings when you were promised anywhere between 47 to 17. I don't really remember the original number of endings that you were supposed to have when the 3rd game was supposed to be dropped, but it became a big clusterfuck. And then you get the 4 endings, and you're like, the way my character was going, you would think that I would have a big boss battle. You don't get that, and I save the universe. Well, psh, so much for saving the universe, because you got 4 damn endings, which, you do save the universe in at least 3 of them. And then the one where you do nothing, that's pretty much it. You do nothing. And it never really gives you an aftermath story until like the end. But you don't know what the hell happened because it just leaves you hanging with Liara talking. So when I read or write or do anything, especially if I get a chance to take my acting career off, everything I'm in, it has to have a beginning, it has to have an ending. And I don't care if the ending is happy, but if I'm producing it or if I'm writing it, it will have an ending that is substantial enough that appeases everybody. there will be no bad endings unless I am the guy that dies or something, and death is like the only solution to solve the problem. Kind of like the Commander Shepard ending when you dive through the goddamn beam, right? It is what it is. But anything I want to do, the deal has to be, it has to have a happy ending. No matter what that person goes through, it has to have a happy ending and an alternative ending if they want a sad ending. But for theater production, at the end of it, whether I got one arm or one leg, it has to have a happy ending at the end of it. That's just the way I feel about it. Other people might not like that. They might want the guy to be completely disemboweled, and that's cool. You eviscerate the main character and he dies, as long as the motive of whatever the hell he was trying to do gets solved. And that's the way I feel about it. So, in closing, because I'm tired, this has been great. This is Kung Fu Heavy #2. This is James Williams Jr. signing out. And I guess sometime this week, I will let y'all guys know how I feel about Boulder the Brave, or Balder the Brave, or however the hell you say it. And I will review some more comics on the way after I go through and figure out what I want to do. I'm definitely going to bring up the Inferno Saga one more time because it was like my favorite X-Men thing. Because Madeline Pryor wasn't a mutant, but she was the clone of a mutant, so she did have delayed powers, which were finally given out. And when she volunteered her life and died with the X-Men, you pretty much thought that, okay, well now, that's it. She's going to be an X-Man. And I really was hoping that they were going to take her in a direction where, fuck you, Scott, I'm an X-Man. And they took her in a direction where she had the baby. The baby was taken from her. Scott got the baby. The baby would later become Cable. But prior to that, everything that could possibly go wrong in this girl's life went wrong. And I kind of can relate with Madeline Pryor because I kind of feel like that, where, you're dreadfully in love with this person and they pretty much are like, fuck you. The chick that you look like that is the one I really love, and the only reason I'm with you is because you look like her. That's got to happen to somebody in real life too. It had to. But, what would that person do in those shoes? And I'd have done the same damn thing. But I wouldn't turn evil. At least I think I wouldn't turn evil. But if you are given a chance by a supernatural creature to take revenge on everyone that hurt you, and the price was the son of the fucker that hurt you, and if you're a woman, you probably would do the same thing she did. Instead of having a happy life, instead of having the good things, she just went straight ballistic and just like, I want that. Then it got stabbed her, and then when she came back to life, she came back not right. So, the Inferno Saga is a good read, and if you get a chance to read it, if you like the X-Men, I'd advise you to read it. Let me know what you think. Kung Fu Happy #2. This is James Williams Jr. I'm out. I'm posting these things right now, and then I'm going to hell to bed later.